the people who are actually, tell you the truth, some of the people who are the chiefs, they're the bloodline are the people who actually mix with the colonials. In addition to that, they're also the bloodline of the people who betrayed the original natives. Most of the original natives of this area was put on something called a Trail of Tears. And basically they were forced walk, it was like a death walk, all the way to Oklahoma. So they were moved and dislocated, and it was received by the Plains natives. My natives are woodland natives. Basically, there's a lot of timber and mountains, and also they were river natives. They worked by the Chesapeake Bay, so they were ocean farers as well as river farers. And anyway, make a long story short, they were driven to the plains where there was none of that really. It's a whole different kind of lifestyle, and whatever was left of them was driven to the plains. So they were driven out. Then the groups that stayed were the ones that were sympathetic to the colonizers. So they passed a law that you couldn't speak the language, so the language started to disappear. Then they passed a law that you had to wear armbands, just like in Nazi Germany. If you was a native, you had to wear armband, and that's how they distinguished between slaves that came from Africa, Europeans, and actual Native Americans. And that's what they did. And then you had to get Christianized, forced Christianized. And so a lot of people, what they did was on the top, they was Christian. Then underneath, they were still Native American, whatever that was. They still had their Native American belief systems hidden. Now, some of the people didn't. They went all the way full colonization. They got rid of the language. They got rid of all their customs, everything. They might have had a certain appearance, but then over time, some of that kind of disappeared. They didn't even look like natives anymore. They just looked like regular old people. And the next thing you know, 3 generations later, there was no more natives. That's basically how that happened. So anyway, well, there was some, but there was very few. So what happened was my family actually did intermarry with the Scottish, because people don't realize the Scots had a problem with the English at the time. And so the Scottish actually also joined with the African people, the Tsenikamaka people, the Native Americans, to help fight against the English. And so there was a whole lot of trading off. There was a multi-ethnic trading, siding up that was going on. Now, most of the people that was there were not Scottish, they were Englishmen. So, but then all of the African people basically joined the Native Americans. So that's basically what happened. So I don't know how I got on that rant. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I'm supposed to be painting. I got my palette already built, and I kind of have my brushes already set aside. I'm basically using somewhat small brushes today. But today I'm going to be focusing on these arcs down the bottom, and I'm going to be touching just certain things. I'm going to work on this this horizon, and I'm going to work on the furniture underneath as well. So that's great. So I know in Africa a lot is late there. It's probably about 10 a.m. and you guys are getting ready to go to bed. I'm pretty sure of that. So all right, so what I'm going to do is just get a few more brushes out, some sable brushes. I really do need to get some more brushes. I mean, great day, I'm kind of running low here. So the brushes do wear out over time, but at the same time, there's certain brushes I use more than others, and I just need more of those brushes. And I like to have quality brushes. So I'm going to start my painting, and usually I start my painting by just diving in on something easy, and then I let the painting tell me where to paint. I do need to look at my examples, but yeah, I mean, doing these talk shows, I don't know, because see, sometimes I have these in various art forms. I'm talking about history, but I'm talking about my history. My point of view of history is from my life, and I hate to say it, it's kind of like the opposite of what most people of European origin, they don't like to hear it, because their ancestors did all of the mischief, There was a lot of problems, These are problems from, 200 years ago, 300 years ago. A lot of stuff has happened, but even in that time where a lot of stuff happened, a lot of things is current right now as we go, because certain tensions are starting to come back to the fore. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix some teal, some cobalt teal, which is like a blue teal color, like a turquoise color. And I think I'm going to start out on horizon because I got my earth on a weird curve over there. We'll put some of that down, and I'm going to put a little bit of cerulean down as well, cerulean blue. I don't like to put too much of this down because a lot of times, I don't have a lot of that to paint in today. Sometimes I put in too much and I waste. I think I have a pretty good amount, and I think I'm going to do a little bit more titanium white because I'm going to have to use that anyway. Yeah, so if you guys, it's so much. I like to learn about African history, especially the struggles. I want to know about the struggles of African history. I want to know what kings did what to preserve themselves during colonialism. To me, that just thrills me because it actually parallels some things that I've learned about my own experiences, in terms of what my ancestors most likely had to deal with. So what I'm doing now is I'm painting in the horizon, and I'm just putting some fresh tone down. And I basically have some cobalt teal, but I'm going to add a little bit of cerulean to it. As a matter of fact, I'm going to move this more towards cerulean than cobalt teal. And I'm just going to paint as evenly as I can with a bristle brush. And this is a filbert brush right along this horizon line, just to put some wet paint going there. Now, I mispainted the other day on this horizon line. So what I'm going to do is go in here and load this back up. And I'm just going to reload this color over existing color, just kind of putting down a second coat because the actual teal color is dry. This blue color, however, is not. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to really mix in a whole lot of medium to get this teal color to flow, because the color has set up some. It's kind of tacky dry. It's not all the way dry. But what I want to do is just remake this line. It's just a little bit too low. And sometimes that little bit too low, like 1 centimeter too low, makes a big difference. And for the American people, one centimeter is about almost a half an inch. Let's say about 6 centimeters or something like that. Okay, now I'm getting some coverage out of it because that's a very dark color of blue that I put down, and it's still wet. But I'm going to just try to reinforce in that a little bit so I can get some coverage out of it. Kind of build that tone back up to what I want. Otherwise, the curvature of my earth, and I'm not a flat earther, by the way. Otherwise, the curvature of my earth is just too round. I think what I was trying to do is overemphasize that so people can know that I don't, I'm a scientist, I study science, and I just can't go with stuff that just goes against logic. Also, I don't just go by with somebody rating their Bible that this is this, somebody's book, or what somebody's grandpa said, To me, is you got to be able to prove this stuff. So, okay, I also paint the sides of my paintings. And as you can see, every time I hit the front, I hit the side just to make sure the paint stays even. Okay, so now that I have that established, what I'm going to do is start mixing in some titanium white with these colors. And I'm going to really do that more with teal. So I want the titanium, I have a little bit of cerulean in there. I want mostly teal in the titanium white. And I have a family member calling me right in the middle of my live, which I don't know if it's an emergency or not, but let me just go ahead and do this real quick and then I'll see what's going on, because it is a COVID pandemic, so I do not want to ignore my family. But I'm going to add a little streak of this light color that kind of goes like the ozone color. And And then they know that I'm doing my live. And I keep telling them, I said, look, you know, I mean, I'm doing my live. If it's not essential, wait till after it's over. So what I'm going to do is, it might be essential. So I'm going to go ahead and check at least to see if it is. If it's not, then it clearly they don't respect my lives. So I'm going to have to address some things. So I'm going to start just painting in this little misty sky kind of thing. Just going to paint this in with this color. It is going to try to, the misty sky motif is going to fall off a little bit as it goes down from the horizon line. So I'm going to establish that fall off by, probably need to switch to a different brush. And I'm going to pick another, either a flat or a filber, but another filber brush. This one's kind of leaning toward bright. I don't want a bright filber. I want a little bit more filber. Okay, I'll get this one. Okay, and then I'm just going to do a little bit of cerulean. I didn't really mix hardly anything with the cerulean because what I want to do with this, I want to tone that white a little bit with it and start kind of getting a slight blend already working. I don't have to really do a delicate blend at this point because I'm going to hit this with more subsequent layers. But I do want to get some kind of blend working in here. You know, because I'm going to be painting in various layers, but the layers are going to be painted layers. They're not going to just be flat layers. And there is all this thunder clouds going off. I don't know if you can hear that outside. So it's getting ready to pour down and rain pretty soon in my area. And again, I'm not doing a whole lot of, I'm getting a lot of colors almost straight off the palette because I do want to keep my colors nice and pure, strong. So not really trying to get, not trying to do a lot of mixing on the palette. I'm just basically almost taking cerulean straight off. And now once I get that, I think this is one of my favorite brushes here. But I'm going to use it kind of as a blend brush today. It's really a synthetic. I don't know if this synthetic is imitating sable. And that's the thing about synthetics. They can make them, hog's hair is hog's hair. So that's what a bristle brush is. And basically hog's hair is going to kind of have a certain spring backness to it. They're all of it's the same. However, when you get synthetic, they can actually make it as hard or soft as they want. And then you have another type of brush that a lot of people use, and that's the sable hair, which is weasel hair. And that's very soft and kind of delicate for those nice blends. Oil painters use that kind of hair all the time to get these really, really nice blends. And right now I'm blending actually with this synthetic, which is somewhere between sable and bristle. So are you getting the best of both worlds, or you're getting none of either world? So anyway, I'm going to step back and look at this for a minute because there is a little bit going on with that. There's a few little colors that shift very, very subtly. And I kind of sort of like the way that's going, except for it's a little bit out of balance over this side. So let me see if I can straighten this up some. Kind of straighten that up a smidge. And we back off. And it's just as important to back off as it is to be close to your work as well. That's pretty good. I do want to arc, but I don't want too much arc. You know, I don't want too much. You know, I just want just enough. That's a Stevie Wonder song, and it just enough for the sit tie. Yeah. Now, I can break out and sing for y'all if I want to, because I've been known to do things like that from time to time, but no. Usually that's like around like some people I know, and they can, you know, they know me, so they know how to laugh with me. I don't know how well everybody knows me or not yet, so I'm going to hold back on some of that. I'm going to give y'all a break for a little while on some of it. Okay, so now I'm going to get a smaller brush. I am going to mix with a little cobalt blue and a little bit of cerulean blue. I'm going to try to mix a very clean but bright, you know, that little blue color that you get just before it goes to outer space. So I'm going to just lay that on. I'm not even going to try to do a lot of blending because it's going over that black, and I'm kind of going into the very color that I just painted in there. I have a little titanium in there, which is actually helping. So it's already turned it into a tint because I got titanium that's touching in there. The titanium is helping cover. It's kind of help fighting against some of this black, which is, again, sometimes the color never really dries totally. And so you got to fight that, you know. It's like, okay, I got a color that I'm fighting, and I got another color that I'm trying to do this with and that with. And it's going back and forward, back and forward. So, okay, so now what I'm going to do is just 1, 2, bam, I'm going to stop and look. Then I'm going to see what this particular family member needs to say to me. And before I do that, I'm going to make one more adjustment. One more adjustment with another brush. And I'm going to just get this ultramarine blue, because I think, let me back off to see what I was doing. Okay, I see what I did wrong. Because sometimes you go too far with a color, then you just got to come right back. You go too far, then you come back. You go too far, then you come back. And then sometimes you just got to let stuff set up. It just has to set up. You know, in other words, you got to let it dry, come back the next day, paint again. Okay, so that is something I kind of want to deal with a little bit. And that's looking okay. It needs to be cleaned up a little bit here and there, and it's hard to do when you got people calling you. And this better be important. Whoever this family member is, it better be important. Not gonna say I'm gonna get mad, but I think we had this conversation before. Okay, so my phone continues to pop. So what I'm going to do is just do this one. These are like little notes that I'm making. It's not necessarily final painting, but it's just little notes I'm making about what I am going to paint. If I don't do it now, you guys, I might forget, you know. You know, you get busy with other parts of your painting and you forget stuff. Okay, so being kind of, let's see what I want to do. I think I'm gonna just get a sable brush, but at this time I'm gonna get a. Now this is too big. I'm not gonna use this one. It's too big. I'm gonna get this little flat right here, sable, and I'm just gonna kind of blend just to knock down the hard edge underneath there. Yeah, that's a perfect brush to do that with. And I'm not going to do it on this side. Fresh eyes is what I want. I want to make some adjustments here to it. No, not this one. Sometimes you just got to take some measurement. It's got to be some measurement. That's not too bad. Okay. See what's happening here. I think what the problem is when it goes from here to here. That's when I start to have some issue here. So what I'm going to do is try to straighten some of this out. Yeah, that's it. Okay, I think I see where I'm having an issue. So I'm going to go ahead and tackle that right now as we speak. Just getting that straightened all the way out. Now, where's my palette? Let me get this out of the way. This is kind of getting cluttery over here. Here was my palette. And mix a little medium in. I'm going to try to get some pure brush, a new brush, clean brush. What's that titanium white? And what it is my line extends through my vase. As I come over to the other side, I kind of lose my bearing a little bit. So what I'm going to do is fix that. And there we go. Now I have a clean horizon there, somewhat clean horizon. Let me take a peek at it again with this. Get it nice and tight with it. There we go. Let me go and get a little bit more white there. Make sure my palette's nice and clean. Okay, a little bit of a backwards and forward. Sometimes you try to make something a little bit better, and you actually wind up, just little small, just millimeters here and millimeters there makes the difference. So what you want to do is straighten that out. There we go. There we go. It's starting to get there now. Starting to do a little something different. Okay, so liking that better. Mix a little Dexoxidon purple in with a little bit of ultramarine blue, and just kind of put it right over top that little, darken that just a little, just rich in that space blue color that I'm creating here. And just bring some more of that. I don't want just a tone in one spot. I want to have various tones distributed so it all kind of harmonizes. There's a little piece of something everywhere. Oops. Now I get some dirt in my brush. Takes away some of the harmony. So I'm going to paint that back out. Well, if I can. And it's because the color that I got in there was actually titanium white. And again, I want to keep my colors nice and strong and pure. I don't want my colors to darken too much. Okay, but all right, that's okay. I'll leave that like that. Okay. So now I have some curvature to my earth. What happened? What did I do? Sometimes you just do one little touch. I mean, it's all looking great. You do one little touch and you mess it up. Okay? All right, so, all right, I got the right brush and the right color. So I'm gonna go in with that color again. So what happened was, I evidently did an inadvertent drag of the brush somewhere and messed something up. And have a straight brush stroke. There we go. Okay. Now underneath there I got another, I'm doing some sloppy painting today. Don't know why. Am I tired? Okay, now I'm coming in with basically titanium white. And I'm painting wet on wet, by the way, because I'm painting into that teal color, that cobalt teal. Okay, and then I'm going to go back again with this blend brush. I'm going to take my paper towel and wipe off any color that's on there. Just hit the bottom of that light titanium against the teal. Give it a little bit of a blend. That's enough. It's enough blend. I'll work the rest of it later, but that's enough for now. There is some color here with this cerulean here. What I'm just trying to do is just kind of tighten up my horizon line a bit. Just don't want any stray colors going here and there and everywhere. Don't want too many stray colors right now. Okay, so looking out at these lighter colors over here, I'm gonna wipe off clean my brush out, get some medium, get a little bit of titanium white. I'm gonna reinforce this horizon line here as well, because I really want this light part to be extended up some more. It's down too low. Okay. Then now that I have that extended up, I'm gonna get this blend brush again, which is basically it's a flat brush, sable hair. I'm just gonna kind of blend that with that cobalt teal over this side and cerulean. Just give it a nice blend there. Okay, there we go. And now that's a better thing going on there. Also, it's just a little bit bumpy and messy because I kind of have some, I don't know, do some sloppy painting today. I don't know why. Don't usually paint this way. And I think I need to build some breaks in. I could be tired. And I need to build some breaks in. So what I'm going to do is going to try to clean up some of this bumpiness. Try to clean that up some. And I think that I am tired. So I think what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to paint Wednesday through Sunday and give myself Monday and Tuesday off. So that way I can do some planning and some other things and rest, most importantly rest, so I'm not fatiguing, because I'm going to be doing this for a while here. I don't want to just fatigue myself into the ground. Okay, so now that's starting to look a little bit more interesting. I'm gonna let that dry because I'm gonna go back in with some more color at another date. But for right now, this will work for now. Sort of. This will work for now, sort of. I don't know how I let this get out of control, but I think I just painted it. I didn't really focus on it. And what I should have done was focus. Okay, so for right now, that is going to be that way. It's always these little things. What's going on? Okay, so I gotta get my zen going on with this. Gotta get my mojo working. It's usually working pretty good, but I'm having some episodes here. Okay, so I think that's pretty good right there. I'm gonna leave it alone. Let good enough be good enough. Okay. Let me look around, see what's there. See what I can see, do what I can do. Okay, so Jambolite Seite Mosha. Okay, so just going to just kind of scumble that in some. And that's a little bit scumbly right there. So I'm going to kind of just see if I can work something out here. Now, I don't want to push it. I don't know why I did that just then. I'm kind of moving a little bit premature. I went kind of too far in there with this white color. I probably need to back it down with a teal color. So I'm going to just get a little bit of cerulean and teal. I think I'm going to need more cerulean than teal. Let's see if I can back this down. Sometimes when you get yourself in trouble, that's when you do some good stuff sometimes right after that. Something surprises you. You seem like you're painting all messed up. And something else happens. You feel like all of a sudden you're painting really, really great. It's amazing how that works. That's why you have to keep on trying. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of let that go like that. Then I'm gonna kind of sit back. I don't want to do too much world painting. I just wanted to kind of straighten up my lines a little bit. Yeah, that's better. That's better. And now I'm gonna go down to, I kind of also want to work on my necklace. Let me see what that dark tone is doing. Is that dry yet? Just painted this yesterday. Actually, that's why I like that raw umber. It dries fast. Guess what? It's dry. So I'll be able to get up there and get on that. But until then, I do need to study that a bit. But then I could also work on my my onks down the bottom, which I really need to work on that too. But let me just do some study itch to kind of see how I'm going to tackle into that. Because there's a lot of tackleage work that needs to go down here. There's some tacklage work there that needs to go down. And you just gotta keep your game plan going. Keep your game plan going and stay diligent to the cause. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop down to the ox. Then I'm going to go back up to the collar after a minute. And I don't know if I should try to sit down and do this or what. There's a lot of bottom painting over here, so I think I'm going to try to sit down and do this. This is a lot of it. Okay, get my palette down here, my reference, and get the brushes I want to work with. Opened up quite a few brushes. I'm not going to need that many, but I'm going to need some. I thought I did have, oh, here's the filter brush dry. No, I didn't even use this one today, so get that over. This is the one I used. I think this is good enough. I don't want to go too bizarre with it. And I'm just hold those. Okay. Okay, and I think I'm gonna want to have to get all the way down on the floor. Gotta get low, low, low. There's a lot of painting down low that needs to be dealt with. In fact, I probably should have brought over some more brushes because I can see now that I'm here. And if you don't get yourself close enough, you're not gonna see everything you need to see. So I can already see I'm probably gonna need all of these brushes. And while I'm here, let me get a rag. I'm down there because I'm probably going to need that too. Okay. Okay, so there is a lot of painting to be done here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some glazes down here because I feel like I've been neglecting this part of my canvas. It needs paint. I'm using this little brush to do it too. But I don't need a whole lot because I'm not too sure what tones this bottom part's going to be, but I think it is going to be blue right here. And I don't mind painting it with a little brush because then I can put the paint exactly where I want it and nowhere else. It'll go a little slower, but it also helps the organicness of the feel with the smaller brush making its various marks. And the stains that the various subsequent layers that I'm putting down. I don't know what I just pulled up there, but it looked like it's some gel from the other day or something, or where did that come? Did that come from the painting or did that come from a jar? I'm just building this bottom blue edge up. This edge, the paint is going to be kind of flat. This is the bottom edge. I still want it to look good. It may be the edge, depending on where it's placed on the wall, that people see the most too. So, definitely want the paint to be nice here. And in my studio, happens to be the edges closest to the floor. So actually, I like my paintings about, if I can, like when I paint that one, about 18 inches off the floor. Don't like them so close like this, but if I work with this tall orientation for the type of size studio I have now, kind of stuck with this, dealing like this. Kind of stuck with it. Don't know if I like it or not. Been dreaming about a new studio. Been dreaming about it. Of course, now that I'm down here, I realize that I need some more colors. So I'm going to add them. I'm going to need some more ultramarine blue and some more cobalt blue. And I'm gonna need a lot because there's a lot down there that been getting neglected. Do I have any actual cobalt? No, not. They've been getting neglected down there. And while I'm down here, I might as well get some Mars Black going here. Just a little of that. Okay, so now, and while I'm down here, let me get another brush. And this little guy right here has been doing me pretty good. I'm going to use it because I'm in tight quarters. Well, I need to reach too, so maybe I should get a long handle brush. Okay, so I'm going to grab for this one. Okay. And with this one, this particular brush is going to probably grab a lot of paint, but I need to start tackling this corner right here. Oh, I'm putting that on way thicker than I thought. Different brush, puts on differently. And this is a broad synthetic flat. I don't know what number it is. I think it's a number 16 or something like that. Maybe it's 18. And I'm just going to get a nice quality to this blue down here at the very bottom. I'm talking about these bottom few inches here. You know? Trying to get this very nice blue going here. As a matter of fact, I had it kind of thin over here. I'm going to thicken it on out. Thicken it out right there. There we go. Add a little bit more. And that's going right in too. So that tone of blue I already have down is receiving this new blue very nicely. Now what I'm going to do is mix this color towards cobalt blue. A little bit right here. Just go up about ½ an inch more. And get some cobalt getting in there. Again, I got some medium in there. Again, this is a nice glazing effect. I do want this to kind of cover, but at the same time, I do also want it to be translucent and let some of the sub color come through because it's a cloud kind of effect. Okay, I'm moving away from the ultramarine blue and toward the cobalt blue. It's about a half an inch or an inch more up. Okay. And down here. Again, if it covers all the way, that's cool. If it doesn't, that's cool too. Because what I'm going to do is still going to be more layers put on. Now I'm moving away from the cobalt blue towards the cerulean blue. And I'm going to go about an inch more up again. And then a little bit up this side to kind of sort of give it like a corner framing. And this is more the cerulean blue. And you know what? I need to get back up again because guess what? I need to deal with some cerulean blue. So I'm going to get some of that back in here on a plate, on a palette. And while I'm getting, I might as well get me some cobalt teal as well. And while I'm doing that, might as well put some more titanium white down as well too. A little bit more cobalt teal. Probably don't need as much of that, but who knows. All the getting up and getting down. And all I'm doing is just, I mean, the color already looks good probably from your perspective back there. But we're talking now from the perspective of somebody who is about only 2 or 3 feet away from the painting. And especially, you know, just, for example, say it's sitting up about 36 inches from the floor in a museum. You know, and you have to look way up and say they have 20-foot ceilings there where this is being displayed at. So you want that person who is 5 foot tall and also the person is 6 foot tall, because they're going to be looking down straight into this color. And it may not be 36 inches. It may be like 24 inches from the floor. You know, but you know, depending on how tall the ceilings are. And this painting is about 8 foot tall almost. So if you got a 12-foot ceiling or a 10-foot ceiling in the place that you display, and it's sometimes like I say, it's going to be you know. You really want to see. This is going to be very close to your eye level. Let's put it that way. And so I do have some really good painting of this little coast area here, and I'm going to go into a little bit of iridium green here for this, just to blend, to scumble that in, because I don't really want to mess that up. I kind of like the way that's going. And same thing with these clouds. I'm going to start scumbling this edge right here. I'm not going to fool with a teal or any other color, because this is where we're going to get into the puffiness of the cloud. So I'm going to scumble. Now again, this cloud is dry. This cloud down here is dry, so I'm not blending anything. I'm just putting a little bit of tone scumbled on that border as opposed to having a clean border. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back in with, of course, guess what? I just ran out of medium here, and I need to change that up. Whoa! And I am going to change this up, but first I need to clean out what's in there. So I'm going to take my tissue and clean that out. Okay, so there we are. And actually, that's looking pretty good. So what I'm going to do is mix some more medium up, at least in 1 cup where it's medium. The cup where it's gamma, so I'm going to leave it because I'm just painting clouds. Then I'll be painting the ox. But this medium has come out pretty slow over here, so I have to do a little waiting. I do have another bottle, but You know, I like to use all this up first, and it's kind of like Karo syrup here. Come on, Mr. Medium, get out. I don't really need a lot of it. But when you paint these big surfaces of blue like this, think about it, I got most of it painted, but I'm going to have to paint the sky underneath these arcs too. So it's still going to really suck up quite a bit of medium painting out of that. Because that's a lot of area. It's not like the pedestal and the little cup. That really didn't take up that much space. Even when I was doing the little lines for the collar, you know, you don't need a whole lot of medium for those kind of paintings, even though it does make an effect on the painting. I think this might be the last day for this one. I mean, I think I've reached the point of diminishing returns with this coming out. Like this. Sometimes you got to have a little bit of waste, even though I hate wasting. Okay, finally it's starting to flow out. I'm going to put a little bit more in than I usually put in because these are some deeper cups. Since it's so hard. And there's actually quite a bit still in there, so maybe I am doing the right thing by just being patient with it. And I'm mixing my medium about just 20% Galkit, 80% Gam salt. Maybe it's 25% Galkit, 75% Gam salt. I think it's closer to 80. I don't know. You know, I'm not really measuring it scientifically. I'm just kind of measuring. But I don't necessarily need these layers super shiny because when I was mixing like almost 50% Gam salt, the oil was just so much sheen. It was just too much. So I just don't need that much sheen. And it just takes like days to dry. You can see in some of my sky, still drying. So that is not the chemistry I need for the temperature or for the type of weather we're having. You know, when you get more humidity outside, it affects your indoor air quality also. And what happens is you wind up getting, your oils take a lot of time to sink in. It takes a lot of time to dry and get ready for you to take another layer. You know, it just taking too much time up. So, all right, so I'm getting down here because I'm gonna work on, now I'm actually work on these clouds. I'm not gonna do a whole lot to the clouds. I'm just gonna do something to the edge. So I'm gonna just take some white, basically. I'm not even gonna, and just kind of clean it off. And where I scumble, I'm gonna also scumble. And I don't even know if I want to do a lot of that with this brush because this brush it's got some ultramarine in it and I don't want that. So I'm going to erase that back up. And also by doing this, it makes a nice little cloud edge on there. So again, I'm going to clean my brush out somewhat. Just get a little bit of white. And in certain areas, I'm just going to scumble here and there and just kind of soften some of that a little bit against that. And I think I've been getting a good effect just taking this rag and just wiping back over it. I kind of like that. I mean, it's not painting with a brush, but it's getting the same job done. And it might be doing a better job of it. So I want to kind of knock off some of this stuff in here with that. So that's pretty good. I like that. So doing that with a rag. And that's the beauty of when you have a lot of layers down, because your paint still is not looking wimpy because you still got all these really nice, rich layers underneath there. So all you're doing is just putting a little tone, a little accent here and there. And that's really all you need when you have very, very nice layers already on your canvas. You know, very nice painterly layers. And so your other subsequent layers are not going to be bad layers. So now, since I'm on down here in this like Indian squat here, I'm going to also have to kind of seed and back off, but I'm going to have to use my imagination to imagine where this stuff is. So I don't want too big of a brush, but I don't want too little of a brush. Did I bring the right brush over for that? Don't know. I have a number 1 brush, or is it a number 0 brush? And a number 10 over 0 actually, and probably this is something over 0 too. So these are fairly tiny brushes. I don't want to paint, I told myself I don't want to paint too tiny with that. I want this to be kind of big, but not too big. So what am I going to do, y'all? I'm going to get a bigger brush. I think what I'm going to do is just get a slightly larger brush than what I have here. Because now that I'm down here, sometimes when you're far away it looks right. Then when you get close it's actually wrong. So, you know, and I thought I had a certain brush size that was perfect. Turns out it's a little bit too tiny. All right, so now let me go back again and look. Because I don't want to go do anything that's wrong. Because that's very easy to do. It's very easy to go do something wrong. Then, oops, it's too late. Then you got to paint back over it and waste a lot of time. I like to be as efficient as I can be. As a matter of fact, I've been doing so much been going through my brain, allowing me to sit back and process like I did before. Because I had some good processing, but I was disturbed. This is why I don't like to be disturbed when I'm painting, because it takes all my focus and concentration away. And wind up kind of getting a little lost, and I got to reorientate myself. So that I need to do. And you know, so let me just sit back. I need to reorientate, get myself together, and then go in on that, because I had some specific plans, and it seems like those specific plans has gotten a little forgotten. So I just need to do a little bit of reorientation here. Okay, now I see what I need to do. Okay, now I'm back on track. I'm getting back there. Getting back there. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so that's it, and that's what I'm going to do. So that was very important for me to do. I'm glad I just didn't dive in, because if I would have, I think I'd have done some really serious messing up. I don't want to do that. So now I know what I need to do. Now I go do it. Oh, somebody's waving. Got to wave back. Love it when you guys wave. How you doing? I say Baldwin. How's it going? Good to see you. Glad you can come into my live. Good to see you, man. And basically it's coming along, you know, slowly but surely. What I'm working on today is the clouds and the unk. This area down here. Making sure it looks right. I'm just making sure just painting these layers in nice and rich. And then these layers are already starting to set up. I mean, this part of the canvas is really sucking in some oil. It's like it's oil depraved down here or something. Or maybe close to the floor. It's the air is better down here. It's catalyzing quicker. Or maybe just a little thin coats, just receiving the oil better, receiving the paints. I don't know. Than the thicker coats that I was painting. You know, always studying, always learning. Okay, so, all right. So also let me. Okay, I have my brushes here. Working on some blends here. Want a nice blend going in there. Again, why not have nice paint? There we go. All right, so now I can finally get to what I need to get to. Okay, so This picture is probably not what I need, but it's a good reference. This is the one I need right here. Okay, so, and also, okay, what I'm gonna do is mix a little bit of cobalt blue with a little bit of titanium white first. I do want this to get dirty. I do want it to be a tint. In fact, I'm gonna just go right to some alizarin crimson and blend it in with that right from the jump street. That's gonna dirty it up. So I have titanium white, cobalt blue, and alizarin crimson. But do I want it more cobalt or do I want it more alizarin? I'm gonna lean it more towards cobalt for right now, because I think that's what I have. And I'm gonna start right under here. I'm just gonna fatten this part of this ankh out here. It's gonna go around somewhat carefully. And I'm a little far away. I'm really stretching to get to that. I don't really like that, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Okay, and I'm gonna go inside of this ankh too. Okay, now once I get that done, I did that with like a number 1 brush, I believe that is. At least a number 1, 2 round sable. Escato sable brush, number 1 or 2. Now what I'm going to do is go back in with the brush I want to be my white brush. Is it going to be this one? I guess it is. First I'm going to clean it. And then I'm going to dabble some little white. It doesn't have to be the cleanest, but what I want to do is just take the bottom edge of this and just kind of blend it with the existing dry white. Because I want that tapered. I don't want that to be just a hard edge like that. I just want it to be a taper. Okay, so now it's starting to taper a little bit, so that's good. Then I'm going to go back with this brush here, the darker brush, number 1, sable, and then I'm just going to blend it with that white color that I just laid up there on there. And of course what I'm doing is I'm making a gradation. And I probably should, I wish I had another number 1 brush here, but I probably don't need it. I can get away with this one. Okay, now I'm going to go inside of this ankh. I'm going to do the same thing with this white. I'll put it right up against there. I'm going to go back again with this. I'm going to blend that tone in. And I'm just going to set off this yellow inside for this ankh against the cloud tone. It's basically what I'm doing. Okay. Just set that off. Okay, so now let me get some brush organization working here. And this is a new clean brush, so I'm going to set this aside because I haven't dirtied that brush up yet. I'm just trying to get how I'm going to paint this, a little bit management going on here. First I thought I was going to work with this smaller brush with this white, but now I don't think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to work with this larger brush so I can, a long handle so I can reach a little bit more. And I want this to disappear in the cloud. So I'm going to scumble it in until this edge here, to this vignette, this blending can just disappear into the cloud to a certain level. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfectly disappeared in at this one, because it's clouds, first of all. It's puffy, it's not perfect. Clouds are just all over the place. It's not going to be an even vignette, but there we go. Okay. To make it look like the light is just kind of sitting up a little bit above. Okay, so a little bit more white. And I think I need to lean it toward the teal or the white with a little bit of cerulean or teal in there as we go towards this color up top. And just kind of blend that in. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to go down to this next one. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go back to my number 1 brush that I had, round sable. And this particular brush is my Escato brush. Get a little bit more close, short handle. And a little bit closer. I'm just going to go right over top that color that's already existing, which you can see I match that tone pretty good. But what I need to do is mix some more titanium in there, some more cobalt, and a little bit more alizarin. Just a little bit more cobalt there. I don't want the paint to be too wispy. This is a second coat, basically. And I might be picking up a little bit more darker tones, closer to the yellow, because I know that I can always blend them away with the white, okay? Okay, and then once I kind of get that established, I'm gonna go in with the smaller white brush and just kind of, that way I have a little bit more control to get a little closer to the yellow without getting into that. Kind of knock that hard edge off. Go back into the white again. And then I'm going to get a little bit more of the cerulean teal color and blend that in. Okay. Get a little bit more of the titanium right under here. Put it right next to that color. Then I'm going to go in with my, I thought I was going in with my blend brush, but go back into this one then and blend with this one. Should have probably a separate one for blending than I use to make the color with, but it's okay. And just keep repeating that all around. Going back into the white, going into this inside with it. Don't want to get it too juicy, but I just wanted enough to blend. Then go back in to number 1 and blend it down. And if I need to darken it, go in there with a tone, darken it up some. You know, it doesn't matter. You want some depth in here, but you got to play around and see what's working, what's not working. You know, how much depth, how little depth. Even though I have an example, this is still a different piece. You still got to play it. It's a bigger piece, it's different. Got to sort of play it by ear. Okay. Then go back into the white. Hit the little ridge on it. I really do need a blendy brush. But I brought one down. I used it for something else. So guess what? I'm gonna need a lot of brushes today. I'm gonna have to get back up again and get another brush. Okay, so anyway, let's see which brush. Here we go. I'm going to get this brush. Something not too big and not too little. And I might even want, yeah. I have a size in the middle for that. I might even get this one. It's like an angle brush, and I have a flat brush. But let me just, so I don't have to bring any more down. These are my sable brushes, which I thought I was going to order some more brushes today, but for whatever reason, I got to messing around with other things and I didn't. But also, you know, I'm always thinking about budgetary things as well, so that's what it is. Okay, so I'm gonna get this blend brush. I'm gonna use a small angle brush first. Put these guys on standby. Because this is gonna allow me to kind of get close to some corners and into some shapes, and then also still be able to blend. Because I want to blend into this, kind of creating a drop shadow. I want to blend it in with the existing clouds, you know. But also I have to paint it sometimes, you know. So I'm going back and forth, being a little bit painterly, a little bit blendedly. Just trying to find the right combination to create what I need to create there. And also, I guess that's what I'm doing with these brushes, trying to figure out which brush. For some reason, I'm having a little problem trying to figure out which brush is going to get me, going to allow me to do this easiest. You know, a lot of times what I would do is just paint it with a bristle brush and quickly get it there. Because the thing about bristle brush, it really pushes that paint very fast where you want it, where my brain wants it. And then it's got I like long handle bristles because I can just get that paint exactly where my brain wants it. Then I can go back later and tone the way I want, you know, to kind of change it and enhance what I kind of gestured in. And just sometimes that's just better paint because I get somewhere faster, you know. I don't know if it's more psychological or what, but you just get somewhere faster. And that's kind of important, you know. I mean, if you feel like you actually are painting, you know, you actually are moving along on a planned, structured time, you know, you feel better about what you paint. You paint longer, you paint better. And when you feel like you're stuck in a quagmire, you're painting, but you're in a quagmire, it's a psychological thing. Sometimes you feel like, okay, let me go ahead and just take a break off this paint. I'm getting jaded. You know, you don't paint as good. So you want to be aware of that too, that phenomenon. So, all right. So I'm going back and forth between brushes. And I really should just organize the brushes that I'm using the most. So I have some more blocks over there, but they're too far away. So I'm gonna just put these on the floor that I'm not using. On the floor. And I might use this one, so I might not put that one on the floor just yet. No, we put them on the floor, get them out the way. On the floor. And I think this one is gonna go on the floor too. Okay, so I got a lot of brushes up here. It's gonna be a lot of brush cleaning detail today. And actually, to tell you the truth, I'm not even using this one. I'm gonna put that one on the floor. And I probably won't use this one much, so I'm gonna put that one on the floor. And I'm not using that one, so there. Now, this is a lot more orderly. You know, basically, when you get over 7 brushes that you're trying to paint with, it can get a little confusing, especially if you're just painting one set of elements, you know. And I tend to paint one set of elements with about 5 brushes or so. Then if you get more than that, it starts to get a little bit, for me anyway, you know, I guess different artists differently, but it gets a little bit kind of confusing because you really can do several things with different brushes. You can do the same thing with different brushes, I should say. So then it's like, okay, am I going to use this brush to do it? And it's like, okay, it's 1,000 different choices you're getting. Sometimes you just don't need that many choices. Just stick with 2 or 3 choices. Just keep doing those. Because that's getting you somewhere. That's getting you where you need to go. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is kind of stick with this number 1 brush because I can see this is going to wind up being my number 1 brush I'm going to use with this little piece of painting because it's perfect for this size, this element. It's kind of perfect for that. And I got a lot of little misty cloud shadows to start painting in. So I got to start thinking about those and how I'm going to paint that. I do want these misty cloud shadows to be kind of interesting and colorful. When I say interesting, colorful, not just a black color. Now, a lot of times you get to painting shadows or grays and they start to get a little bit muddy.